About 10 months ago, I made a video on how to make a massive central city in the middle of a 10k map. Now, you had to do some XML editing. It was a bit of a faff, really, but I've worked it out now. I've got something special for you. 4k, 6k, 8k, and 10k, and I've done all that editing just for you. A couple of days ago, I had a comment on a different video, the one where I used Terragon in order to make entire map cities. And I got a comment from Sid Random, and they said, is there something I can just put in my mod folder? I just want a big city on my map. So I replied and said, well, you know, I could turn my code into something, and that is what we've done. Let me show you all about it today. Right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. So I know some of you just like to hit and run. You just want to grab the mod and get out of here. But if you, of course, are one of those people that like to like, comment, subscribe, and leave a comment and all of that, well, thank you. And we'll be going through in detail the mod. But for everyone, if you want to go to nexusmods.com, go to /7 days to die. You'll find lots and lots of different mods there. All the links, of course, direct links are in the description below. And when you get here, you'll see that I, literally, as I'm making this video, have just uploaded 2 different mods. And this is the one I'm talking about today, PG's Central City Generator. Massive cities. That's what we are all into here. Absolutely colossal ones. And you can now make them yourself. And as I said, 4K, 6k, 8k and 10k, you have the ability to do this rather than me have to generate them and upload them as many mods on here for people to download. Let's have a look at the main page, and you can see when you come here that you can, you know, basically have a read of what's going on, and then you can go to the files and you can download them. Now there's 2 versions. The reason for this is that when you use this, you only need to put the mod into your mod folder, you know, when you're generating maps, not when you're using them. So it's only a little thing you use when you're generating. And I've had to make 2 versions because, well, the way it makes these maps, I changed the XML, I changed the numbers, and of course I'll put a card directly above with the previous video so you can see that in a bit more detail as well. But yeah, they just make the same map over and over again. So if you generate a 4K map and you make it with pine forest or desert or whatever, you're going to get the same map on a different biome. But I want people to have choice. So with generator version 1, you're going to get 4 different maps, so 4, 6, 8 and 10, right? You're going to get that. But I've also got another set of numbers, so therefore you can make a different giant central city in version 2. And hopefully in the future, I'll calculate some more numbers. If you do enjoy this, please though, you know, kind of hit all those buttons as I say, because then I know it's worth doing it. Because if I say, oh, I don't know, hours, tens and tens of hours of generating map has gone into this. So basically it takes a long time for me to be kind of bothered to actually go through and create these numbers. So there we go. Now, of course, quick, everyone go, all those early leavers go. Everyone else though, if you're staying, if you're one of the awesome people, then, you know, let's go through another little mod very quickly, and then I'll show you the details about these 2 mods right here. So as you can see, I've also uploaded tonight the 12k map generation. Now this was because earlier on today, whilst I was trying to sort out the central city generator completely randomly, and this is why I'm making a video so late on a Sunday night before it goes out on Monday, is that a friend of mine, Frilliath, who has a lovely YouTube channel, again their links are down below, and they do a lot of stuff on Twitch, so have a look at them there as well. And they basically messaged me and said, can you make anything bigger than 10k in 7 days to die? And I was like, you can with Terragon, I've done that before. But then I thought, could I do it in the actual game? So I had a mess about and I wrote a mod to try and bring up the 16k maps. That did not work. There's kind of a limitation, let's say, within 7 days to die, and it didn't allow me to actually, you know, generate 16k maps without having a memory error. So I thought, well, how about 12 then? And guess what? It worked. So I made this little mod here you can download, and quite simply, I can't get the high res up here. Oh no, it's high res. There we go. 12k map generator. So you'll get this little kind of deal here where it normally says all the little numbers up to 10k. You're now going to get the 12k map, which is 12,288 little bytes in each direction as such. But you'll be able to make your own maps. So I've tweaked the numbers, and it's all right. It's generating some nice big cities all over the thing. So please give that a go. And also, you know, give us a shout out and tell me how it went. Now, when you do download these mods, then of course you just need to click on here, but there's a few different things you can do to really help me if you want to support me as well. You can leave a little post here, you can put a little comment on here just saying, hey, saw your video, absolutely lovely, or something like that. But really importantly, what would be wonderful if you do download this, after 15 minutes after you've downloaded it, you're able to hit the endorsement button. So that'd be lovely if you can do that, because that tells other users that you've downloaded it, used it, and it was good enough to say, yes, they are awesome, massive cities. So let's quickly zoom in on this part of the screen just so we can see the mods folder that I have here. It's in app data, roaming, 7 Days to Die, and we have a folder in there called mods with a capital M. Within that mods folder, you need to place the central city generator v1 or v2. And when you open up that, you don't want to see another directory. So sometimes when it depends if you use Windows unzip, it kind of makes another directory. Make sure that you go into this one single folder under the mods folder and you see the config and mod info XML. Then you know it's all set up and ready to go. You can see I've also put in here the 12K map generation. I'll show you that very quickly as well today. And if anyone's wondering, I always have this in my mods folder. It's my IDL Nerfed little mod. Now that's the indoor dynamic lighting. I really detest it in Alpha 21. I hope they fix it for 1.0, but I use that all the time just because I don't like all of that silly lighting and darkness and randomly when you look anywhere in a building. So let's get generating a map. We'll make a new game, go to the generating part, and yeah, we can sit here and see all the different size maps here. But we can only see 6, 8, 10, which is the standard ones in 7 Days to Die. Now, of course, there is 12K as well. All my little generated world names are red because I've been messing with them and already generated them. But you want to click on Advanced Generation. If you do, you'll be able to see all of the lovely things all the way up to 12K now, if you have that mod on. But we're interested in the central cities, and it will be quicker for me just to do the 4K. So remember, 4K, 6K, 8K, 10K, they're the only ones so far that I've got sorted. So I know I've said that a lot, but I can see people trying to make a 5K and it not working very well. Although yet I haven't tested them on that. Then something might appear. So what do? So here I'm going to do it on 4K, nice and quick. Keep your towns at default. Keep your wilderness POIs at default. And everything else here on the left-hand side, you're going to turn to none. For this to work, we want a very, very flat surface. So plains 100%, hills and mountains 0. And then pick your biome, only one biome, okay? Because the way it generates is it tries to make a city in the space, and we're making one. We need a big space. Pine forest only for me right now. Then we hit generate world. So that only took 21 seconds, but it always seems like forever for it to show us the map. There it is, and if you hit this button over and over again, you're going to get the same thing all the time. So what kind of things can we see here? You know, lots of big city stuff, different zones of different types. It's all going to be lovely. I think, way, there we go, trying to get this damn thing to work. We can zoom in and have a fly about, but of course, there are other better ways to find out what's in your map, and that's using some online resources. And again, I'll put a card up above if you want to be able to see what's in a map and see what each of these POIs are a little bit easier than coming up to them like this and trying to work out what it is. House Old Mansard 01. Well, looks good, but I don't really get a decent feel for it in this map preview. So we'll change this again, but this time I'll make it all snow. And there we go. We're going to get the same map, but on a snow biome. If it wants to come up, 22 seconds to make, forever for it to... Oh, it's decided to crash the preview on me because I decided to look at the previous one by zooming in. 7 Days to Die. Right, back in with another attempt. My golly gosh, this game does like to crash on me all the time. Let's do this again. What I haven't done, and I'm making this video literally after making the mod, I know it works for all of them, but what if I put a world seed in there? So if we put the old classic, you know, YouTuber subscribe a world seed and we generate the world, what are we going to get? Are we going to get a decent map like I know that works, or are we going to get something slightly different? Well, there you go. That's fun, isn't it? We decided to get a big red error there. Must be a non-negative and less than the size of the collection parameter name index. Meh, I don't know. It works when it's blank. That's the whole point. It works when it's blank, not when it's like this. It's still planning highways. It still crashed on me. Ah, 7 days to die. Okay, just breathe. Just breathe. You know, sorry, I needed a moment there. If this ever happens to you and you're not quite sure what to do and you can't quite get out, just type in shutdown after pressing F1 in here and it should all just disappear. Okay, whilst making this video, I've had my first comment on the Massive Cities mod, and it looks like straight away I'm confusing the heck out of people. So let me make it clear. The 2 versions, and you use each version, and it will make 1 set of cities. I really hope I got that across, because I'm obviously not explaining it very well. Let's nip into the actual nitty-gritty of all of this. If I can just file the file, here it is. I have been messing around with the RWG mixer.xml. Now, there are different size maps, and those maps are called tiny, small, medium and large. And as I say, we've been through this in a previous video. I showed you the card earlier, but there are certain lines that I need to change. So the first one is something called the border step distance. Don't really worry about that. That's about making that a bit smaller, just so we've got more room on the map. Then everything in all of them, whatever size, the tiny 4K and all the others, we basically take the different properties here for the values that are for Old West country town and town like items that you can make, and we just set them all to 0. We set these to 0 because we don't want them generated, because they'll mess everything up. And then what we do is we take the city and we make these special types of numbers here. So we've got something called the min tiles and the max tiles, excuse me. These are the minimum amount of tiles and the maximum amount of tiles to make a city. Now, it would be easy, wouldn't it, if we could just change these to any old thing and basically make a massive city. But the way it's doing it is it's merging lots and lots of different cities together. So by having a minimum value of 50, you're actually seeing at least 50 cities all merging in together. And I kind of worked this one out because this is how Terragon does it as well. But these numbers are critical. If I was to change this to 60, it might not work. If I was to change this to 116, it might produce a giant city, but unfortunately, it might have some giant road down the side of it that has no relevance and doesn't link anything up. Or if I get these completely wrong, then these massive, right to bedrock, completely perfect holes appear, and there is nothing else on the map. So it's all rather weird. So all I've done is just done that for the 4K, the 6, the 8, and the 10K here. And, you know, quite reasonably have messed around with 1,000 million amounts of these numbers, generated every map, and these are the ones that work. Now, I have several others. I've used 2, because I've got 2 versions of the mod. I think I've got another 2 sets of numbers that work really well for the 10K. So that's all good, and I shared them, I believe, on the other video. What I don't have is any other sets of these numbers that work for the 4, 6 and 8K. So if you're really interested, let's say in, I don't know, a 6K map, then I want you to come to the small one here, and if you do have the time, then try and tweak these. Probably best just to try and tweak this one. I do know that there is a value for the large one where it uses a 55 here, but you shouldn't be, I don't think, deviating too much from the minimum tiles, because you know, in the end we want a certain amount for the city, but the maximum one, changing this number makes a huge difference. And I'm literally trying to find, well, you can use this, you can change these values, run the mod again, or run the game again with the mod in, and if you change this to 455, say, you'll get a giant city. You'll get one. It will look great, except that it will have some weird kind of giant roads by it. And if you don't mind and you want to make a giant racetrack down it, then just go and have some fun. But if you're like me and you just like perfection, then and you do find a couple of numbers for any of these that just happen to make a perfect city in the middle, well, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Absolutely. Please head over to the Discord, use my email, do anything, just somehow seek me out and tell me what that number set is, because then I can create version 3 and version 4 and so on, so we can have lots of fun with lots of different super duper massive cities right in the middle of our maps. So final checks, let's actually go into one of these 12K maps and have a look. There we go, normal stuff, F1, DM for debug mode, Q to get high up in the sky, and then if we come along we can see that the 12k map has lots of large cities in it, and it's all very lovely, possibly with a little bit of travelling in between. No, there's plenty on here, which is all good. And then into a 4K map that's been used with the massive city generator. And then we are in the good old snow here, because we generated that, the last one we did. 4K massive city, there it is, look at it, edge to edge. It is just one great big thing with Wilderness POIs too. Absolutely loving it. A great place for a single player game, maybe just with a mate or two, but of course you can go bigger. There's plenty of them out there. All the normal stuff is generated, but you have different zones. It's a great place to play the game. And as I fall out the sky, no. The next question is always going to be, what kind of traders do we have? So I'm going to press escape and open POI teleporter, hit trader in, and you can see it's produced one of each. So let's go and see Jen. Ouch, because Jen is the master of all massive cities, and we are going to tell her, look Jen, I made a massive city.
Feeling under the weather.
No, I'm not. I'm fine.
Just what the doctor ordered.
I'm sure you actually do have what the doctor ordered, but, like, you know, not right now. I'm busy making a video. So thank you, everyone who's still listening right now, because it means that you have stayed to the end, and you are a wonderful human being, because you can now hit all those lovely buttons. What's that sound? That's the bells of the church. I've never really noticed them before. Isn't that weird? Anyway, thank you so much. Please hit all the nice buttons, as I say, and what else could you do? Hey, there's merch if you like it. If you like the old PG logo or my funny little face. But I'll see you in more videos soon and over on Twitch. See you later. Goodbye. Sorry, Jen, what was that? Somebody should watch this video because YouTube thinks that's the one for them to watch next. Oh, no, good idea.